The Thalmor lifted off from the planet's surface as the harvesters descended. Purple beams cut through the air around them. The ship's shields absorbed the hits, but each impact drained more power. They needed time, and time was running out. "Take us higher," Kel said. He was standing behind Deho, guiding him. "The weapon works better in open space, away from gravity wells." Deho pushed the engines hard. The Thalmor climbed fast, breaking through the atmosphere and back into the void. Behind them, the harvesters followed like hunting animals that had caught a scent. In the cargo bay, Bom and Taiyang were preparing the ship's weapon systems. They couldn't stop the harvesters, but they could slow them down. "Give Deho the minutes he needed." "Firing missiles," Taiyang announced. Weapons streaked from the Thalmor toward the nearest harvester. They hit the massive creature and exploded in brilliant flashes. For a moment, the harvester slowed. Its surface rippled and darkened. Then it continued forward, undamaged. "They're adapting to our weapons," Bom said. "Just like Kale said they would." In the cockpit, Suman was reading through the weapon activation procedures on her computer. "Deho, there's something you need to know. I found more information in the Vrin files." "Tell me quickly," Deho said. "The weapon doesn't just transform you. It makes you part of a network. You'll be connected to the quantum field permanently. You'll be able to sense the harvesters anywhere in the galaxy. But you'll also be tied to the Thalmor. The ship will become your body in a sense." "So I'll be a ghost ship," Deho said, "haunting the galaxy forever. Something like that." "But not alone." Suman looked at him. "Jiwoo can merge with you. Her AI core can integrate with the weapon. You'd have a companion. A friend." Deho felt Jiwoo's presence in his helmet. "Jiwoo, you don't have to do this." "I know." Jiwoo's voice was calm. "But I have been with you for 5 years. I do not wish to be anywhere else. If you become something new, I would like to become it with you." Deho felt tears in his eyes. "Thank you." Another impact shook the ship. The harvesters were getting closer. Their tentacles reached out, trying to grab the Thalmor and pull it in. "We're out of time," Hana said. "Deho, if you're going to do this, do it now." Kale placed a hand on Deho's shoulder. "Come with me to the engine room. The weapon interface is there." They moved quickly through the ship. In the engine room, the quantum core pulsed with blue light. Kale opened a panel beside it, revealing a chair surrounded by crystalline structures. Neural interface cables hung from the ceiling like vines. "Sit," Kale said. Deho sat. The chair adjusted to fit him. Kale began attaching the cables to Deho's suit, connecting him to the ship's systems. Each connection felt like ice water running through his veins. "The process will be painful," Kyle warned. "The weapon will break down your consciousness and rebuild it. You must stay focused. Think about why you're doing this. Hold on to that purpose. I'll try." "No, do not try. Either commit completely or walk away. There is no middle ground with this." Deho looked at Kale. "Why are you helping me? You could use the weapon yourself." "I am too old. My mind is set in its ways. I would fail as my people failed." Kale's expression softened slightly. "But you are young, flexible. You have something we Vrin never had. Hope. The belief that one person can make a difference." "I hope you're right." "So do I." The ship shook violently. Alarms screamed. Over the intercom, Bom's voice shouted, "They're boarding us!" "Harvesters are cutting through the hull." "Activate the weapon now," Hana ordered. Kale pressed the final controls. The quantum core blazed with light. The neural cables came alive, pumping energy directly into Deho's brain. The pain was incredible. Deho screamed. He felt his mind being pulled apart, examined, reconstructed. Memories flashed before him. His childhood. His first day working on a ship. Every person he had ever met. Every choice he had ever made. Then Jiwoo was there with him. Her consciousness merged with his, supporting him, keeping him anchored. Together they were stronger. The weapon spoke to them. Not in words, but in pure understanding. It showed them what they would become. A consciousness spread across space and time. A hunter of hunters. A guardian that would never rest. "Do you accept?" the weapon asked. Deho thought about the harvesters, the civilizations they had destroyed, the lives they had taken. He thought about the future, about all the species that hadn't been born yet that deserved a chance to exist. "Yes," he said, "I accept." The transformation began. Deho's consciousness expanded. He could suddenly feel the entire galaxy, every star, every planet, every living thing. And among all that life, he could sense them. The harvesters, thousands of them scattered across space, all connected to one terrible mind. He reached out with the weapon. The quantum resonance array activated, sending pulses through space-time. The pulses found the harvester's consciousness and struck it like lightning strikes water. The harvesters screamed. All of them simultaneously. Their shared minds shattered under the assault. The creatures that had been boarding the Thalmor froze and began to break apart. Their bodies dissolved into dark mist. Across the galaxy, harvester ships stopped moving. Some exploded. Others simply drifted, their consciousness torn away. In the engine room, Deho's body went still. His eyes glowed with blue light. He was no longer entirely human, no longer entirely AI. He had become something new. When he spoke, his voice came from the ship itself. I am here. I am the Thalmor now, and I will not let them take anyone else. Kale stepped back, his expression unreadable. It worked. The weapon worked. Hana entered the engine room, staring at Deho's transformed body. Can you hear me? I can hear everything, Captain. I can feel the harvesters retreating. They're wounded, but not destroyed. They'll hide, recover, but I'll be waiting. What about you? Suman asked, tears running down her face. Are you still you? Yes, I'm still Kang Deho. But I'm also more now. Jiwoo is with me. We're together in this. The Thalmor began to move on its own, guided by Deho's expanded consciousness. It flew away from the planet back toward inhabited space. I'm taking you home, Deho said. All of you. You've done enough. What will you do? Taeyang asked. I'll hunt. The harvesters will try to rebuild their network. I'll stop them. Wherever they appear, I'll be there. For how long? Bom asked. Forever. Or until they're all gone. Whichever comes first. The ship flew for 3 days. Deho brought them to a station on the edge of human space. Before they left, each of them said goodbye. Hana saluted him. You saved us all. I'll make sure people know what you did. Don't make me a hero, Deho said. Just tell them to keep exploring. Keep learning. Keep pushing forward. That's what humans do best. Suman touched the wall of the ship gently. Will you be lonely? I have Jiwoo, and I can still see you all in a way. I'll be watching over you, all of you. Kale was the last to leave. He stood in the airlock looking back at the engine room where Deho's body remained, connected to the ship. You succeeded where we failed, Kale said. The Vryn will be remembered for our strength, but you will be remembered for your courage. Thank you, Kale, for everything. No, thank you. You gave the galaxy a future. They left. The Thalmor departed the station and vanished into deep space. Years passed. Then decades. Then centuries. The story of the human who merged with an alien ship spread across the galaxy. Some said it was just a legend. Others swore they had seen the Thalmor appear when they were in danger, driving away threats before vanishing again. Suman spent her life documenting everything. She wrote books about the Vryn, about the harvesters, about Deho's sacrifice. Kale traveled with her, helping other species prepare for possible harvester attacks. They became friends, the last Vryn and the human scholar. Hana formed the Silent Watch, an organization dedicated to monitoring deep space for harvester activity. Bom and Taeyang joined her. They trained new generations to be ready, and somewhere in the darkness between stars, the Thalmor continued its eternal patrol. Sometimes it was seen near dying ships guiding them to safety. Sometimes it appeared during harvester attacks, its weapons blazing with blue fire. Inside the ship, Deho and Jiwoo existed together. They were not alone. They had each other and they had purpose. They protected the galaxy, one life at a time. 300 years after Deho's transformation, a young alien cadet named Rin was drifting in space. Her escape pod had failed. Her oxygen was running out. She could see a harvester ship approaching, one of the few that still survived. She closed her eyes, ready to die. Then a ship appeared beside her. It was sleek and dark, with lights that glowed blue. A voice spoke through her communicator, warm and human. You're safe now. Let me get you home. The Thalmor pulled her pod aboard. Through a window, Rin saw the harvester turn and flee. The ghost ship pursued it, weapons charging. Who are you? Rin asked. I'm Deho. I'm a friend, and I'm here to help. The ship brought her to the nearest station. Before she left, Rin asked, Will I see you again? Maybe if you need me, but I hope you won't. I hope you'll have a peaceful life full of joy and discovery. Thank you, you're welcome. Now go, live well. The Thalmor disappeared into the stars, continuing its watch. A ghost ship crewed by a transformed human and his AI friend. a legend that protected the galaxy from the shadows. The salvage ship Prosperity drifted through the edge of the Helix Nebula like a small fish in an endless ocean. Inside the cramped cockpit, Kang De-ho stared at his scanner with tired eyes. He had been working for 16 hours straight, searching for anything valuable in this forgotten corner of space. Most days brought nothing but empty fuel tanks and wasted time, but today was different. The scanner beeped 3 times. De-ho sat up straight, his heart beating faster. The screen showed an energy signature near a dead star system. It was faint but steady, like a candle flame in the dark. "Ji-woo, are you seeing this?" De-ho asked. A soft voice came from his helmet. Ji-woo was an AI assistant that lived in his suit's computer. She had been with him for 5 years, helping him survive in the dangerous work of space salvage. "Yes, De-ho. The signature is unusual. It does not match any known power source in my database." De-ho felt excitement building in his chest. Unknown meant valuable. Unknown meant he might finally make enough money to buy his own ship and stop working for Captain Yoon Hana. He pressed the communication button. "Captain Hana, I found something." Requesting permission to investigate, there was a long pause. Captain Hana's voice came through, calm and careful as always. "What kind of something?" "Unknown energy signature. Could be a derelict ship." Another pause. "De-ho, we have a schedule. The company expects us back in 4 days." "Just 2 hours, Captain. If it's nothing, we move on." He heard Hana sigh through the speaker. "Fine, 2 hours. But if you get yourself killed, I'm not explaining it to your mother." De-ho smiled. Hana always pretended to be tough, but she cared about her crew. He guided his small repair shuttle toward the coordinates, leaving the Prosperity behind. As he flew closer, the dead star system came into view. 3 frozen planets orbited a dark star that had burned out millions of years ago. Between the second and third planet was an asteroid field, thick with rocks and ice. The energy signature was coming from inside the field. Ji-woo, scan for safe passage. Calculating route. "Be careful, De-ho. Some of these asteroids are moving fast." De-ho's hands moved over the controls with practiced skill. He had been doing this work since he was 19 years old. He knew how to dance between the rocks, how to read the patterns of their movement. His shuttle slipped through gaps that seemed too small, turning and diving like a bird. After 20 minutes, he saw it. A massive shape loomed ahead, half buried in a cluster of asteroids. At first, he thought it was just another rock. Then his lights hit it, and he saw the smooth metal surface. The ship was enormous, at least 3 times the size of the Prosperity. Its design was strange and beautiful. The hull curved like a sea creature, sleek and predatory. Dark metal reflected his lights with an oily shimmer. "By the stars," De-ho whispered. "Running analysis," Ji-woo said. "The design does not match any known civilization in galactic records. Wait, I am detecting faint markings on the hull. They appear to be Vryn." De-ho's breath caught in his throat. The Vryn Empire had vanished 800 years ago. They had been powerful, mysterious, and dangerous. No one knew what happened to them. Some said they destroyed themselves in a civil war. Others said they found a way to leave this dimension entirely. And here was one of their ships, perfectly preserved. "Captain Hana, you need to see this," De-ho said into his communicator. "What did you find?" "A Vryn ship." "A big one." "It looks intact." The line went silent for a moment. When Hana spoke again, her voice was sharp. "De-ho, listen carefully. Do not board that ship. Vryn technology is dangerous. We should report this to the authorities and let them handle it." "Captain, if we report this, the government will take it. We'll get nothing. Just let me do a quick survey." "I won't touch anything." "De-ho, 2 hours, remember? I still have 90 minutes. He heard her curse quietly. "If you die, I'm telling your mother it was your own fault." De-ho guided his shuttle to the ship's side. He found an airlock door covered in ice. Using his shuttle's cutting laser, he melted the ice away. To his surprise, the door opened easily. The mechanism was old but still worked. He put on his helmet and checked his suit's oxygen. Full tank, 4 hours of air. He grabbed his tool bag and stepped into the airlock. The inner door opened and De-ho entered the ship. Emergency lights flickered on as he walked, sensing his presence. The corridor stretched ahead, clean and empty. No dust, no debris. It was as if the crew had just stepped out for a moment. "This is incredible," De-ho said. "The ship is in perfect condition." "I am detecting residual power in the main systems," Ji-woo said. "Something is keeping the basic functions alive." De-ho moved deeper into the ship. The design was elegant and efficient. Every surface had a purpose. There was no wasted space. He found crew quarters, a command deck, weapon systems that he didn't recognize. Everything was built for both space travel and something else. Jiwoo, does this design remind you of anything? Analyzing. The hull structure and propulsion systems suggest this vessel was designed to operate in multiple environments. Space and liquid. This is a space submarine, a submarine. That made sense. The Vryn had lived on a world covered in deep oceans. Their ships could dive through water, gas, even the thick clouds of nebulas. This ship was built to be invisible, to hunt from the shadows. At the center of the ship, Daeho found the engine room. In the middle of the room sat a sphere of dark crystal, twice as tall as a man. Lights flickered inside it like distant stars. A quantum core, the most advanced power source ever created. Daeho approached it slowly. His hand reached out, fingers almost touching the smooth surface. Daeho, wait, Jiwoo started to say. Too late. His glove touched the crystal. The entire ship exploded with light. Every system came alive at once. The walls glowed with alien symbols. Screens activated, showing star maps and data he couldn't read. The quantum core pulsed with brilliant blue light. A hologram appeared in front of Daeho. A Vryn warrior, tall and covered in armor that looked like black scales. The figure spoke in a language that sounded like water and wind mixed together. Jiwoo, can you translate? Working on it. The language is Old Vryn. I have limited data, but I can extract some meaning. The message is a warning. It is repeating the same phrase over and over. What phrase? Jiwoo's voice was quiet when she answered. They are still hunting. The hologram flickered and vanished. The lights dimmed but stayed on. The quantum core continued to pulse with that blue light. Daeho stood in the engine room, his mind racing. Who was still hunting? What was this ship running from? He needed answers, and he was going to find them. The Thalmor tore free from the asteroids with a sound like breaking glass. Daeho felt the ship respond to his thoughts through the neural interface. It was connected to his mind now, reading his intentions and translating them into movement. The sensation was strange and wonderful, like growing new limbs. Behind them, the Prosperity was evacuating. Most of the crew chose to leave in the escape pods, heading for the nearest inhabited system. But 4 people stayed. Captain Hana stood beside Daeho, watching the sensors. Suman was strapped into a seat, her computer on her lap. Bomb had her rifle and a determined expression. And Nam Taeyang, the Prosperity's backup pilot, had volunteered to help with navigation. I didn't spend 15 years learning to fly just to run away in a pod, Taeyang had said. He was young and confident, the kind of person who thought he was invincible. Now they were all about to find out if that confidence was justified. The 3 massive shapes on the sensors were getting closer. Jiwoo displayed them on the main screen. They looked like enormous jellyfish made of metal and dark energy. Tentacles trailed behind them, each one miles long. Their surfaces rippled and shifted as if they existed in more than 3 dimensions. The harvesters, Suman whispered. They're real. They're fast too, Taeyang said. They're gaining on us. Daeho pushed the Thalmor harder. The ship accelerated smoothly, faster than any human vessel he had ever flown. But the harvesters matched their speed easily. They moved through space like it was nothing. Like distance meant nothing to them. We need to lose them, Hana said. Can this ship go any faster? I'm trying, Daeho said. His hands moved over the controls while his mind directed the ship. The neural interface was getting easier to use. He could feel the engines, feel the hull, feel every system as if they were part of his body. A beam of purple light shot past the Thalmor, missing them by meters. Alarms blared. They're shooting at us, Taeyang yelled. I noticed, Daeho said through gritted teeth. More beams cut through space around them. The harvesters weren't aiming to destroy them yet. They were hurting them, pushing them away from open space and toward a nebula cloud ahead. They're trying to trap us, Hana said. If we go into that nebula, our sensors will be useless. Suman looked up from her computer. Wait, the ship's logs mention using nebula clouds for hiding. The Thalmor was designed to operate in them. Can you find the procedure? Daeho asked. Suman's fingers flew over her keyboard. Looking now. Another purple beam struck the Thalmor's shields. The ship shook. Lights flickered. The shields held, but just barely. We don't have much time, Bomb said. Those things are getting closer. Got it, Suman said. The ship can filter its sensors to work in nebula clouds. There's a setting in the navigation system. Activating now, the screens changed. The nebula ahead appeared in new detail, showing currents and densities that were invisible before. It looked like an ocean made of purple and blue gas. Deho made a decision. Hold on. He dove into the nebula at full speed. The Thalmor plunged into the thick clouds like a submarine diving underwater. The ship's exterior hull adjusted automatically, creating a field that pushed the gas away from them. The harvesters followed without hesitation. They're still coming, Taeyang said. The nebula didn't slow them down at all. Deho's mind raced. He needed something else, something the harvesters wouldn't expect. Then he remembered the phase drive, the ability to shift out of normal space and pass through solid matter. Jiwoo, can you activate the phase drive? The system is functional but untested. We do not know if it will work with human pilots on. We're about to find out. Everyone brace yourselves. Hana grabbed a support rail. What are you doing? Something crazy. Ahead of them a planet loomed. It was a gas giant, massive and blue, with storms the size of continents swirling across its surface. Deho aimed directly for it. You're flying toward a planet, Taeyang said. Why are you flying toward a planet? Because they won't expect us to go through it. We can't go through a planet. The phase drive can. I hope. The planet grew larger on the screen, filling their vision. The harvesters were right behind them, close enough that Deho could see details on their surfaces. Mouths. They had mouths, ringed with teeth that looked like crystal shards. Activating phase drive, Deho said. He touched a control, and the universe went strange. The Thalmor shifted. Reality bent around them. Deho felt like he was being pulled in every direction at once. Colors bled together. Sounds became visible. He could taste light and hear darkness. Then they were inside the planet. Gas rushed past them, but it couldn't touch them. They were out of phase with normal matter, existing in a space between dimensions. The planet's interior was beautiful and terrible. Layers of compressed gas glowed with their own light. Lightning storms crackled in the depths. Creatures made of electricity swam through the dense atmosphere, huge and ancient. Deho guided the ship down, deeper and deeper. The harvesters followed them in, but the phase drive was confusing their sensors. The Thalmor was invisible now, a ghost ship sliding through impossible spaces. The phase drive is draining power fast, Jiwoo warned. We have 30 seconds before automatic shutdown. 20 seconds until we reach the planet's core, Deho said. What's at the core? Hana asked. Solid metal. If we phase through that, we'll come out on the other side. The harvesters will lose us. And if we don't make it through, Bomb asked, then we'll be stuck inside a planet. But let's not think about that. 15 seconds. The pressure around them was incredible. Even out of phase, they could feel the weight of the entire planet pressing down on them. 10 seconds. The core appeared ahead, a sphere of iron and nickel compressed by unimaginable forces. It glowed white-hot. 5 seconds. Deho aimed for the center of the core. Hold on, he shouted. They hit the core and passed through it. The phase drive screamed with effort. Alarms filled the cabin. Then suddenly they were through, shooting out the other side of the planet like a bullet. The phase drive shut down. They snapped back into normal space. The Thalmor shook violently but held together. Status, Hana barked. Shields at 20%, Taeyang reported. Engines are overheated but functional. Phase drive is offline and will need an hour to recharge. What about the harvesters? Bomb asked. They looked at the sensors. The harvesters were still on the other side of the planet, circling and searching. They had lost the Thalmor's trail. We did it, Suman said quietly. We actually did it. Deho slumped in his seat, exhausted. The neural interface had taken a lot out of him. His head pounded. His hands shook. But they were alive. Where are we? Hana asked. Taeyang checked the navigation. Still in the same system. We came out near the third planet. It's a dead rock, but the sensors are showing something weird. What kind of weird? Deho asked. There's a structure on the surface. Artificial. It matches Vryn architecture. Everyone looked at each other. A bunker, Suman suggested. Maybe, Hana said. Or a weapons facility. Or a trap. Only one way to find out, Deho said. They landed the Thalmor on the planet's surface near the structure. It was built into the side of a mountain, hidden behind rock and ice. The entrance was sealed with a massive door covered in Vryn symbols. Suman read them aloud. Emergency shelter. Authorized personnel only. They suited up and approached the door. Bomb went first with her rifle, scanning for threats. When they reached the entrance, Deho pressed his hand against a panel. The door recognized the Thalmar's authorization codes and slid open. Inside, the bunker was cold and dark. Emergency lights activated as they walked, casting blue shadows. The place looked abandoned but well-preserved. Storage rooms held supplies. A command center had dormant computers. Everything waited in silence. At the center of the bunker, they found a chamber with a single stasis pod. Through the frosted glass, they could see a figure inside. A Vryn, tall and powerful, wearing black armor. Is that? Taiyang started to say. The pod activated. The glass slid open. The Vryn inside opened his eyes. They were bright yellow like a cat's eyes, and they focused immediately on the humans standing around him. The Vryn sat up slowly. He looked at each of them in turn. When he spoke, his voice was deep and rough like rocks grinding together. Jiwoo translated the words, "You idiots, you led them right to the weapon." The Vryn warrior climbed out of the stasis pod with smooth, practiced movements. He was taller than any human, at least 7 feet, with skin that looked like dark scales. His armor was part of him, grown from his own body. He studied the humans with those yellow eyes, and Daeho felt like prey being examined by a predator. "Lower your weapon," the Vryn said to Bomb. Jiwoo translated his words into Korean, then back into Vryn for their responses. "If I wanted you dead, you would already be dead." Bomb didn't lower her rifle. "Who are you?" "My name is Kale. I was a commander in the Vryn Defense Fleet. I have been asleep for 800 years. He looked at Suman. "You are the translator. Good. We will need clear communication." "How did you know?" Suman asked. "You carry a computer designed for language analysis, and you hold yourself like a scholar, not a warrior." Kyle turned to Daeho. "You piloted the Thalmor here. I felt the ship wake up through the bunker's sensors. That is not an easy ship to fly, even for Vryn. You have skill." "Thank you," Daeho said. "I think." It was not a compliment. It was an observation. Kale walked past them toward the bunker's command center. "Come, we have little time. The harvesters will find this place eventually." They followed him. Kyle activated the computers with a touch. Screens filled with Vryn text and images. He worked quickly, his hands moving over controls that responded to his presence. "You mentioned a weapon," Hana said. "What weapon?" Kale didn't look at her. "First, I need to understand what you know." "The harvesters found you. Why?" "We activated the Thalmor," Daeho explained. "The ship had been drifting in an asteroid field. I repaired it and turned on the quantum core." "Foolish," Kyle said, "but predictable. The harvesters sense quantum activity. It draws them like blood draws sharks." He pulled up an image on the screen. It showed the harvesters, those massive jellyfish creatures. "What did you think they were?" "Aliens?" Taiyang suggested. "No, machines, very old machines. They were created by a civilization that died millions of years ago. No one knows their original purpose. Perhaps they were meant to gather knowledge. Perhaps they were weapons. It does not matter now. They exist only to harvest." "Harvest what?" Suman asked. "Everything, technology, information, biology. They find advanced civilizations and consume them. They take everything that makes a species unique and add it to their collection. Then they move on to the next target." Kyle showed them another image. A planet dead and gray covered in empty cities. This was a Vryn colony. 3 million people lived here. The harvesters came and took them all in 3 days. Not dead. Taken, absorbed into the harvester network. Everyone was quiet. The image was horrible. "The Vryn fought them for 50 years, Kale continued. "We were the most powerful species in this sector. We had weapons that could destroy stars. We had fleets that numbered in the thousands. But we could not stop them. Every time we destroyed one harvester, 2 more would appear. They learned from every battle. They adapted to every weapon. So you ran," Hana said. "We tried to run, but there is nowhere to run. The harvesters exist throughout the galaxy. They have been hunting for millions of years." Kale's eyes grew distant. "In our final years, our scientists discovered something. The harvesters are not separate entities. They are all connected. One consciousness distributed across thousands of bodies. If we could disrupt that consciousness, we could defeat them all at once. And you built a weapon to do that," Daeho said. "We tried to build such a weapon. The quantum resonance array. It would send a pulse through space-time, targeting the harvester's shared consciousness. It could reach across the entire galaxy simultaneously." Kale touched another control. A schematic appeared showing the Thalmor's quantum core. The weapon was installed in the Thalmor. This ship was chosen because it could survive long enough to deliver the pulse. What happened? Suman asked. Why didn't you use it? Because it didn't work. Kale's voice was bitter. The weapon required a living mind to guide it. The pulse needed intelligence to direct it, to find the harvester's consciousness and destroy it. We tried using Vrin minds, but we failed. Our neural patterns were too rigid, too specialized. We were apex predators. Our minds were built for hunting and killing, not for the kind of flexibility the weapon required. He looked at Deho. You survived the phase drive. A Vrin would have died from that. Your mind is different from ours. Adaptable, creative. You solved problems in ways we would never consider. You think a human could operate the weapon? Hana said. I think it is possible, but I do not know. We never found a species with the right neural patterns before we were destroyed. Deho felt everyone looking at him. What exactly would happen if I tried to use this weapon? Kale was quiet for a moment. The weapon would merge with your consciousness. You would become part of it. Your mind would spread across space-time, connected to the quantum field itself. You would exist everywhere and nowhere at once. Would I die? Deho asked. Not exactly. But you would not live as you do now. You would be transformed into something else, something between mortal and machine. That's not an answer, Baum said. It is the only answer I have. Suman had been reading the data on the screens. There's something else here. A note from the Vrin scientist who designed the weapon. She translated slowly. The weapon does not destroy the user. It transforms them. The consciousness remains intact but expanded. They become a guardian, able to sense and fight the harvesters wherever they appear. Forever. Forever, Taeyang said. That sounds like a nightmare. Or a gift, Suman said quietly. Depending on how you see it. Deho sat down. His legs felt weak. You're asking me to give up everything. My life, my future, everything I am. I am asking nothing, Kale said. I am merely explaining what is possible. The choice is yours. There has to be another way, Hana said. We can run. We can warn other civilizations. You can run, Kyle interrupted. You can warn others. And the harvesters will hunt them all down anyway. They have infinite patience. They will keep coming until every advanced species in the galaxy is harvested. The bunker shook. Alarms began to sound. They found us, Kale said, checking the sensors. The harvesters are entering the atmosphere. We have minutes. Everyone ran back to the Thalmor. The ship's systems were still recharging, but Deho brought them online as fast as he could. Through the cockpit window they could see the sky darkening. 3 massive shapes descended through the clouds, blocking out the sun. The phase drive is only at 60%, Jiwoo reported. Not enough for another jump. Then we fight, Baum said. We cannot fight them, Kale said. He had followed them onto the ship. The Thalmor has weapons, but they will only delay the inevitable. Deho sat in the pilot's seat. His hands were shaking. He thought about his mother back home, his friends, the life he had planned. He thought about Suman's words, forever. Then he thought about all the other people in the galaxy, all the civilizations that would fall if the harvesters weren't stopped, all the lives that would be taken, absorbed, erased. He looked at Hana. If I do this, will it be worth it? Hana met his eyes. I don't know, but I know you're the kind of person who would rather try than live with regret. Deho took a deep breath. He nodded slowly. Kale, he said. Show me how to activate the weapon. Captain Yoon Hana stood in the airlock of the Vrin ship with her arms crossed. She had brought 2 more people with her. Lee Suman was a language expert who specialized in dead civilizations. Choi Baum was the Prosperity Security Officer, a serious woman who carried a plasma rifle everywhere she went. You touched an alien power core, Hana said to Deho. What were you thinking? Deho shrugged. I was thinking we might learn something useful. You could have been electrocuted, or poisoned, or turned into dust. But I wasn't, and now we know the ship still has power. Hana rubbed her forehead like she had a headache. Fine, we're here now. Suman, can you make sense of this? Lee Suman was already studying the holographic displays that covered the walls. She was a short woman with quick eyes that missed nothing. Her fingers moved over a portable computer as she took pictures and recordings. This is remarkable, Suman said. These symbols are definitely Vrin script, but it's an older dialect than I've studied. It will take time to translate properly. How much time? Hana asked. Days, maybe weeks. Hana shook her head. We don't have weeks. The salvage company expects us back in 3 days. Deho stepped forward. Captain, please. Give me 72 hours. If we can learn how this ship works, we could sell the information for millions. We'd all be rich, or we could all be dead, Bomb said. She was checking the corners of the room with her rifle raised. Vrin technology killed thousands of people during their expansion wars. This ship could have defense systems that activate automatically. Then we'll be careful, Deho said. But we have to try. When will we ever get another chance like this? Hana was quiet for a long moment. Finally, she sighed. 72 hours. But if anything seems dangerous, we leave immediately. Understood? Understood, Deho said. For the next 3 days, Deho lived on the Vrin ship. He barely slept. Every moment was spent exploring, learning, understanding. Jiwoo helped him map the ship's systems. Sumin worked on translating the logs and technical manuals. Even Bomb started to relax a little, though she never put down her rifle. The ship's name was the Thalmor, which meant silent hunter in the Vrin language. It was a flagship vessel, one of the most advanced ships in the Vrin fleet. The design was brilliant. It could travel faster than most ships, fight with weapons that bent space itself and become completely invisible to sensors. But the most impressive feature was the phase drive. For short periods, the Thalmor could shift out of normal space and pass through solid objects. It could fly through a planet or hide inside an asteroid. No enemy could trap it. No barrier could stop it. Deho was fascinated. He spent hours studying the engineering. The Vrin had been geniuses, but their technology wasn't magic. It followed rules, used physics that humans understood. With Jiwoo's help, he began to figure out how the systems connected. I think I can get the life support working, he told Hana on the second day. How? Hana asked. The quantum core is still active, but it's running at minimum power. If I connect some of our power cells to the system, I can boost it enough to activate the main functions. Is that safe? Probably. Hana gave him a look. That's not reassuring. Captain, nothing about this situation is safe, but I know what I'm doing. She didn't look convinced, but she nodded. Do it, but carefully. Deho worked through the night. He connected power cells from the Prosperity to the Thalmor's quantum core. It was like trying to start an ancient car with a modern battery. The systems weren't designed to work together, but Deho was good at improvising. He had spent his whole life fixing broken things with whatever tools he had. When he connected the final cable, the ship hummed to life. The lights brightened. Air began flowing through the vents. Screens activated across the command deck. The Thalmor was waking up. It's working, Deho shouted. Sumin ran into the engine room. Deho, I've translated more of the logs. You need to see this. She showed him her computer screen. It displayed Vrin text with human translations underneath. The Vrin didn't vanish, Sumin said. They were running. Something was chasing them. Something that destroyed their colonies one by one. What was chasing them? Deho asked. The logs don't give a clear answer. They just call them the hunters or the harvesters. Whatever they were, the Vrin were terrified. This ship was trying to escape when it ran out of power and drifted here. Deho felt a cold sensation in his stomach. Did they escape? I don't know. The last log entry was 800 years ago. It says we cannot outrun them. We can only hope to hide. Before Deho could respond, the Thalmor's systems activated on their own. The command deck filled with light. A hologram appeared larger and clearer than before. It showed a Vrin face, dignified and sad. The hologram spoke. Jiwoo translated in real time. If you are hearing this, then we have failed. I am Captain Vor of the Thalmor. We tried to save our people, but we were not strong enough. The harvesters came for us as they have come for every advanced civilization before us. They do not negotiate. They do not stop. They only harvest. The hologram flickered. This ship contains our last hope. A way to fight back. But we never figured out how to use it. Perhaps you will have better luck. Perhaps you will succeed where we failed. But be warned, if you activate this ship's systems, the harvesters will sense it. They will come for you as they came for us. The hologram vanished. The command deck went dark except for the emergency lights. Nobody spoke for a moment. Then Bomb's voice came over the communicator, sharp with alarm. Captain Hana, you need to see this. Long-range sensors are showing something. What kind of something? Hana asked. 3 massive objects. They just appeared at the edge of the system. They're moving fast! Really fast. Deho and Sumin ran to the command deck. Hana was already there, staring at the sensor display. 3 shapes were visible, each one larger than a city. They moved through space like sharks cutting through water. What are they? Hana whispered. Jiwoo's voice was quiet. Analyzing energy signatures. They do not match any known species in the galactic database, but their approach vector is directly toward our position. Suman looked at Daeho. You activated the ship. You woke it up. I didn't know. It doesn't matter, Bomb interrupted. They're here now. What do we do? Hana made a decision quickly. Everyone back to the Prosperity. We run now. But Daeho was looking at the Thalmer's controls. The ship was alive now. The engines were ready. The weapons were charged. This vessel had been built to fight these creatures. It had been built to survive, Captain, Daeho said slowly. What if we don't run to the Prosperity? What if we run in the Thalmer? You can't pilot an alien ship, Hana said. I can try. Jiwoo can help me. This ship was designed to escape the harvesters. It's our best chance. Hana looked at the sensors. The three massive shapes were getting closer. They would reach the asteroid field in minutes. If we stay on the Prosperity, we're dead, Daeho said. Those things will catch us. But the Thalmer is fast. It can phase through objects. It was built for this. Hana closed her eyes. When she opened them, she had made her choice. Get everyone off the Prosperity except the people who volunteer to stay. Anyone who wants to risk this insanity can come with us. Daeho sat in the pilot's seat. It adjusted to fit his body. Controls appeared on screens around him. Jiwoo began interfacing with the ship's computer, translating commands into something Daeho could understand. I really hope you know what you're doing, Hana said. Daeho's hands moved over the controls. So do I, Captain. So do I.